All right, Stacks users and YouTube. What I wanted to go over today is our monthly back testing for our Stacks AI. What we do have first off for you guys is to go over the version 1. We do have some updates. You'll see them here in this darker blue, where certain prints such as Google, Nvidia, Apple now have hitting new all-time highs, and these guys actually purchased back in October and November of last year. Looking at some pretty awesome returns for those ones, over 100% for a couple of these, high 70% in here. And you can also see these updated in the most recent week. So again, I did take these from Stacks AI before our version 1 was revised into version 2. And you can see that a lot of these are hitting new all-time highs and new profit levels for these prints from before. This TSM one, I do have, this one just expired recently, just a couple weeks ago, and hit a new all-time high as well. This one is one of our biggest returns, 2,900, so 2,991% on the 18th of last month. Amazon and Apple here also hitting some new all-time highs. And we actually do have this Apple print here that is now a win, which actually brings that December win rate to 100% over here. In addition, so you can see our previous version of Stacks actually has some pretty good hit rates. The only real misses that you'll see here, I've got an asterisk next to these ones because they technically did win, did have about an 8 to 9% return, although they did drop quite quickly right afterwards. So you only had a day to get back out of these. I'll make sure I'll let you guys know down there with the numbers how these are being added or calculated into our numbers. The only real misses we have are here in March that still do have some time. Riot here is still a miss, still down a bit, as well as we do have this CRM with some time as well. This AMD one was actually just a weekly for back then, so this one is actually locked in at a miss over here. But as you can see, our overall hit rates, we've got 73 prints from version 1. 70 of them ended up being a winner. The highs average around 186% with about 73 days to get to those average of those highs. Okay. So the numbers over here, as you'll see for them, I have February here in a little bit of a light yellow with an asterisk because depending on how you want to calculate those three that I talked about here, the Pinterest, Shopify, and Shopify here. Keep in mind, Shopify here still has some time, so this can still recover and still can come back. But this Pinterest one did end up dropping right afterwards. It only had 2 days to that expiration. So, depending on if you do take those three back out of this, that would be a 67 out of 73, which puts us closer to about 90% hit rate, which is still pretty phenomenal. Now, when you go look at version 2, what we have here are our newest prints. I will say right here, we do have 3 of them missing so far. Only one of them is currently a win. So this actually, our hit rate for last month, the month of June, is only about 25% with an average of a loss of 4%. These ones do have quite some time. Keep in mind, Nvidia, this is, I think right now, the furthest expiration they can purchase. IWM for the end of next year, and Nvidia here for the middle of next year. This one still has about almost 12 months before this does expire. So even though these are down, our Stacks AI and what you can see with our history of our back testing, these very likely just need some time for them to, like I say, let them marinate a little bit before those probably head back up a little bit more. What we do have, and just like you can see, my updates in here are all going to be highlighted in this blue. So what you can also see, anything that changed from last time that I did the check, which was the end of last month, end of May, so beginning of June. This FSLR now is a win. We still do have VST and DAL here as losses and misses, so that puts us at 14 out of 16 for this 87.5%. However, we do have some pretty high returns. You can see these ones in bold, but our averages of all of these here to 117, almost 118%. Back in April, we did have these Microsoft calls that were misses, but now wins, and actually now almost at 20, this one at 30%. Took a couple months for them to finally come back, but they also do have to the middle of next month or next year, sorry, not next month. What I also did was, because these were kind of clustered within a lot of these ones that have expired down here, move them up to the top here so you can see them all together. All of these short-term ones, you'll notice we had a lot of these short-term ones. I already explained them in the back testing back in May, where end of April, May. What we had here was these really short-term weekly expirations that came in all during that quick little drop in SPY and the indices as well. There were only two of them that ended up missing. The rest of them were all wins, albeit a couple of them are some lower numbers, but we do still have quite a few in the 20, 30, 40% range. In addition, you may have noticed this last month we've had quite a few tickers make new all-time highs. Broadcom over here, again, Nvidia, after the split and all that. These are now looking at some pretty hefty returns just as well. We definitely still do have a few misses in here from that, but keep in mind, if you look at those expiration dates, they still do have about a year to 2 years before they do expire. So keep an eye out on those CRM and AMD over here. AMD actually, I think, did just pop a little bit. But keep in mind, my update here is for the 2nd. I know today is the 3rd, but we're just getting these out to you guys after we did a couple of interviews. Be sure to check those out as well. But you can see 20 out of 23 for this month of March. And then we do have 100% hit rate for month of February, 100% hit rate for January. This TSM one that did just expire, it is, I would say, a duplicate of what's in version 1, this one being the high of 2,900%. So if you take a look at our averages, the average return for everything, including the misses that we had for this month or last month of June, our average returns are at 127% with a total hit rate of about 90.91%. So here you can see all of our numbers are put together in this chart right here, along with our version 1 over on the right. And a quick calculation, if you take all of them and add them together, our hit rate is at a 92.78%. 180 out of our 194 prints called out by STAX AI are considered winners. Keep in mind, some of them may have hit those highs and retraced back. It is up to you to make sure that you manage your risk and that you set your stop losses and take profits to take advantage of these, especially since we do have these with the highs averaging 149%, which is pretty amazing, pretty phenomenal returns if you're able to capitalize and use STAX as the tool that it's meant to be. The average days to the high here, 57.71 days. Obviously, with the older version of STAX, you do have more days to the average of highs, especially with those updates for this last month. Another quick thing I wanted to share with you guys here, just because I know some of them have been asked. I did have some people reach out and notice that some of my numbers were a little bit off. Actually, I had miscalculated and added some things that ended up being lower. So actually, a lot of these numbers now being updated as well are higher than before. If you look at version 1 of our 73 prints, the numbers in terms of over 25% return, over 50% return, over 100%, and over 200% return. And then version 2, we have 121 prints and our total hit rates. So if you take a look here, imagine this, you're getting into every single STAX AI print, and every time it hits 25%, you put that stop loss, or you put that stop loss at 50%. Notice here the number of times that you'll be hit, the percentages that you'll be hitting. If you just set it at 25% return for each of these and then scoot them up to each one as they do hit, you're looking at some pretty awesome returns for this year, definitely going to be beating the S&P 500. Here, what we do have are back test hit rates for every single month, all the months up through December through June now. And you can see our hit rates slowly creeping up and our returns definitely going higher and higher. So our average returns are going higher as the months do go by. Well, if you do have any additional questions, you have any questions about how our back testing is being done, any of the numbers that you notice, maybe if they're off or something like that, please don't hesitate to reach out to us over at help@investorcentralclub.com. We're more than happy to show you guys these back testing numbers, what a phenomenal tool our STAX AI software happens to be. And, look out for those discount codes. Right now, we're doing one for July 4th. If you put in USA 15, you should be able to get 15% off our software for the month or even for the year. Again, this is Eric here with Investor Central Club, STAX AI. Extremely happy to show you guys these numbers, our back testing numbers, and what phenomenal of a tool STAX happens to be. See you guys in the next one.